for dreamers. Where you wanna be? Join in, connect with us. Join in, and you can see what's up. Join in, so connect with us. Join in. It goes A-Spire, EM-Spire, Dreamspire, books for authors is on fire. A-Spire, the magazine for you. We got art and entertainment, celebrity news. M-Spire for entrepreneurs and motivators. It's demonstrated, see how they made it. Dreamspire TV, it's where you wanna be. Extraordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Mays, and I'm your host of the Authors Lounge. Don't you go anywhere because we will be right back after this advertisement. Hi, I'm Cheryl Mays, and I am your host of the Authors Lounge. I am so excited today because I am bringing to you an author, Caleb Harris, the author of Suffering in Silence, August 15th, 2003. So we're going to hear from Caleb about his book, about his inspiration, his motivation, and why he wanted to put this book in your hands. So don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. Hey, Caleb, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Awesome. Hey, Caleb Harris, author of Suffering in Silence. Thank you so much for joining us on the Authors Lounge today. I am so excited to get talking about your book because this is not the first book. This is number 3 for you. So kudos on that.
Thanks.
So, Suffering in Silence. First of all, Caleb, tell us a little bit about you.
My name's Caleb Harris, as you said before. I live in Enfield, Connecticut. I play basketball. I just relax. I go to the gym, meditate. I live kind of a boring life, but I'm a very interesting author. So,
There you go. I love that, right? Because when you're boring, then you put it into your work, and
yeah.
then it comes out to be this magnificent piece of art.
hmm
So tell us about Suffering in Silence. Where did this come from?
It mostly came from what I've been seeing from a lot of guys that I just hung out with as a kid. So I've always noticed that even just black men, white men, but most importantly, men of color, we all basically just have this thing where we just say, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to keep quiet. And it always just seemed like a problem, but you always didn't want to be like that person to point it out. You always just wanted to keep silent as well. But as I got older, I started realizing books like Suffering in Silence definitely gives men an opportunity to be understood.
I think that is so important because I'm just thinking about, when you were talking about what men are taught, which is, not to show your emotions, thus the terms like man up and men don't
Hmm.
cry and all of those things that we impose on our young boys. And then they take that into their manhood. And so you have a really interesting concept here. So tell us a little bit about this book.
About the book is it follows a character named Ricky Johnson, and as I said earlier, it's about a character that really needs to have somebody understand him because it seems like his whole entire life he just feels as if no one knows who he is. Sometimes even when he goes to sleep, he doesn't actually know who he is as well. So I believe books like that definitely have to bring into turn self discovery and most importantly self identity.
That's so important. Now, in the story, there's a story revolved around Ricky that actually brings all of this out. And it's got to do with his mother and his father and how their interactions with him has caused
Right.
him to either, repress until he was able to release. So, talk to us a little bit about that because it gets complicated.
Yeah, it definitely gets complicated because his mother and his father were great. Like Ricky and his mother and his father were like just two peas in a pod. And then all of a sudden, when Tyrone Johnson, his actual father, when he started actually drinking, that's when he turned into a monster. Ricky really was able to relate to him when he's sober, but whenever he's drunk, he just can't see him. And the mom left at an early age, and dad went his own way. And then during the summer, he just doesn't want to talk about summers anymore because something very unfortunate happened to a young Ricky Johnson.
And we don't want to give away the story, right?
Nope, not yet.
We want you guys to go buy the book. We don't want to
Nope.
give you the story away, but it is a very complicated relationship between Ricky mom and dad, and
Hmm.
then Ricky's true father. And so, did that just come to you? Is that personal experience, or is this something that you saw?
It's slightly personal to me. I never had the greatest relationship with my own father. He had times where he was just him and I didn't always see eye to eye on things, but we still love one another. But he definitely had severe anger problems, which kind of translated into my own personal life. So I had to seek therapy and mental health counseling. But I definitely realized that holding on to hatred against anybody is definitely 100% wrong.
They say when you release the hatred, then you actually have a better opportunity to live a life fulfilled
Right.
instead of just gosh, I guess focusing all of your energy onto that hatred and that person who probably has gone on, you know,
Yeah,
has
exactly.
moved on with their life, and here you are pinned up with all of this hostility and frustration and nowhere to release it. So, guys, listen, Caleb Harris has written a book called Suffering in Silence. And it is so appropriate, not only just for this time, but for men in general. And so, we're going to hear more from Caleb when we come back. So, if you are an author and you have a trailer and you would like to have your trailer on Dreamspire TV, here's what it looks like. Hi, I'm Cheryl Mays, your host from the Author's Lounge, and we're talking to Caleb Harris, the author of Suffering in Silence. Caleb, you have three other books prior to this. So, what are the names of the other books? Because I want people to get the entire package. I want the Caleb Harris package purchased.
Yes, the Caleb Harris purchase package is all on Amazon right now. The first book I ever wrote was Better Luck Next Time, Daryl. So that's book number one. Book number two is No Meat, No Problem. So anyone that is trying to explore veganism or vegetarianism, it's one of those things where I would definitely recommend exploring. I'm a vegan myself, so
Okay.
I wrote over 20 recipes just to help everybody out, just to cover the basics. All the simples are very simple. They're very time consuming, so they don't take too long. So I would definitely check out those books on Amazon.com. And most importantly, don't forget to buy my latest book, Suffering in Silence, August 15, 2003.
That is awesome. So these books are all available on Amazon. So you guys
Yep.
can go to Amazon, you can get the book. You also have the opportunity to follow Caleb, and we're going to put his social media handles on shortly. Caleb, the date, August 15th, 2003. What is that significance?
Oh, it's very significant to one Ricky Johnson. It's the darkest time in his life. And as we had talked about hatred earlier, it's one of those things where Ricky had to learn to get over his own hatred. But holding on to this date has never actually helped him. And I can't give too much information, but it's definitely one of those things where the summer, right? The summer is represented with the sun, but the whole summer was just completely dark for him. And he had to actually come back to the light in his own complex way.
Okay. So that particular date is significant for the character in the book.
Right, that's correct.
Awesome. It sounds intriguing. It sounds like something that you really want to get into, and especially if you have sons, right? This would be a good book for a parent to actually understand better what your son can go through, because a lot of times I think we don't think kids understand, but they
Right.
get it.
Yeah, kids are always listening, and definitely with characters like Ricky Johnson. I mean, he does a couple of questionable things in his life with like smoking and drinking and all that, but it's all just a way to suppress his own pain. And that's really what he all wants to do. But he has to come to his own solutions, which definitely takes a lot of time. So I would definitely recommend to just keep on reading, and you will actually get a better understanding of Ricky Johnson.
Nice. So, Suffering in Silence, August 15th, 2003, is available on Amazon. Now, Caleb, you answered a couple of questions that you submitted that I want to just kind of go into a little bit of those.
Right.
You had stated that if someone were to look you up in a dictionary, the word that would probably pop out for you is misunderstood.
Right. That's it.
So, talk a little bit about that.
Oh, I remember one song I listened to was like Earl Sweatshirt, and I forgot what the actual song was, but the lyrics went too black for the whites and too white for the blacks. And it was one of those things when growing up in the suburbs as a kid myself, I definitely had a lot of issues relating to black people and sometimes even white people because it took me my own time to actually be understood.
I think your sound might have gone out, Caleb. While Caleb is fixing his sound and his video, understand that you can get this book on Amazon. On Amazon, you can actually follow Caleb on Facebook. You can follow him on Instagram. On Facebook, it is Caleb Harris. On Instagram, it is Caleb Hates Cake. So definitely have an opportunity to follow Caleb, get the book, and understand a little bit more about Ricky Johnson and what he's going through. And so I think we have lost Caleb, but guess what? I'm still here to share with you. So this is what I want you to do. I want you not to move while we find out what happened to Caleb. So stay tuned.
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet just went out temporarily, but yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. But back to
That's all
the
right.
yeah the
You're
topic
back
of
now.
yeah
You're
being
back.
misunderstood. Yeah,
Yes.
I grew up in the suburbs, and it was one of those things where I felt like you had to be a certain type of black person, and I just never could understand that at all. So when I went to college, everything was a lot more different. Like it just everybody was more accepting, understanding of everybody else, and that definitely helped me like grow out of my shell a lot more.
Okay. And so, and writing is probably one of those things that have actually helped you to do that.
Right.
Awesome. The other question, you said that if you could have dinner with any other author,
Yep,
what
that's correct.
author would it be?
That would be Henry David Thoreau. Unfortunately, he's not alive anymore, but he's one, in my opinion, one of the greatest philosophers of all time. He always practiced this phrase called transcendentalism, and that's one being with nature. And that definitely explored me a lot to just go out on hikes, go out on woods. It helps me a lot with my writing because whenever I just walk out on the trails, I leave my phone in the car, I just bring my keys, and I just walk forward and I just don't think about anything. But as soon as I return back to my house, I'm able to write a lot of good things.
There you go. It's the clearing of the mind, gives you
Yep.
clarity. I love that about nature. That's exactly what it does.
Hmm.
So, Caleb, for this book, Suffering in Silence, what is it that you want a reader to walk away with?
Definitely what I've been talking about before, the two topics, less hatred and understanding, because I've always heard people would say things like, oh, well, people just do things for no reason, but I definitely believe there's a reason for everything. So I believe after this, after people read this book, people are going to understand more about Ricky Johnson. It's not about like having people talk about what's right and wrong. It's just a complete understanding of the character and why he does the things that he does. And you could just come to your own conclusions of his life.
So, guys, here you have it. Caleb Harris, the author of Suffering in Silence, August 15th, 2003. It's the life of Ricky Johnson. You are going to be engaged. You are going to be, gosh, probably see some of yourself in this character and the surrounding characters. And the book is available on Amazon along with Caleb's other books that are also available on Amazon. So go to Amazon, support Caleb, get his book, and write a review. I love reviews. How do you feel about reviews?
I feel they're great, even if they're like good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it helps the author because it gives people an idea of let me pick up the book and read it. But if you don't have any reviews, no one's going to read your book.
So there you have it, straight from the author. Write a
Nope.
review so that other people can see how you feel about the book and then they'll get the book. That's
Hmm.
how it is. People like what other people have.
Yep, that's correct. That's definitely correct.
Caleb, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our readers and our listeners?
Just stay positive during this like a crazy time. I know me, I'm working from home. I've had to adjust a couple things, but everything's going to be fine. But like, just going crazy and beating people up. And oh yeah, one more thing, please wear your mask. I know people don't like to wear them, but like it would just be simpler if you did, because if you don't wear the mask, then they're gonna make more laws about it, and then you're gonna be forced to wear the mask. And if you don't wear the mask, then you're gonna, have yourself in legal trouble or fines. So just wear the mask. That's all.
And be safe. This is a
Help be
time when we
safe.
all have to use our own senses and say, be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, no
Later, you
problem.
will be able to go to our website at dreamspirebooks.com. You will be able to see this interview and you will be able to hear a reading from Caleb. He's going to read a selection from Suffering in Silence. So until then, please follow us. Definitely follow us at dreamspirebooks.com. Follow us at dreamspiretv.com. Follow us on IG, where we can actually have an opportunity to share with you some of the fabulous contests that we have coming up, some of the other authors that we have that will be appearing on Dreamspire TV. So definitely do that. And I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us here today. I always am excited to be able to bring to you another author that you can actually get the book right away. Write a review, Suffering in Silence by Caleb Harris. Thank you for joining me today. I am so excited whenever you have an opportunity to join us on Dreamspire TV. And here's one final thing that I'm going to ask you to do. Here you see a QR code. I want you to take your phone, hold it up to your screen, and you are going to be able to go directly to our website. That is so cool. You can take a picture of this. It will take you directly to Dreamspire Books. If you have an Android, then select your Google Lens, and you can take a picture, and it will take you to Dreamspire Books. So I definitely want you all to do that, and I want you all to definitely come back, join us, get the book, and celebrate the book, and have an amazing evening. Thank you so much. Cheryl Mays, The Author's Lounge on Dreamspire TV.